Welcome to Mary McCorvey Experience Over Expectations podcast, which you can find on YouTube, Substack, and any place you find your podcasts. Be sure to subscribe today.
Welcome to Experience Over Expectation. I'm Mary McCorvey. This is where we explore what happens when life throws a detour and how those moments of disorientation often hold the real roadmap. My guest today knows that story firsthand. Gal Ezra is a South African-born entrepreneur, investor, and speaker on a mission to create 10,000 ethical millionaires. By age 25, he'd built his own first $1 million business, and by 30, he'd sold 4 more. But his path wasn't linear. At 19, Gal was stranded in South Africa after a visa rejection. No money, no plan, no safety net. Instead of rescue, his father offered him something far more lasting: knowledge. And from that moment, Gal rebuilt his life through discipline, integrity, and a mindset rooted in service. Gal, welcome to the program.
Wow, thank you very much for having me.
You're very welcome. You have to tell us a little bit more about where are you right now?
Yeah, I'm currently in Cape Town, South Africa. I was
Okay.
born in this city. I grew up in the US, hence the accent is a bit more American, although not fully American. And I've been living back in Cape Town for about 14 years now.
That's where your family is.
That's where my family is. Most of my
Yes.
family, yeah. Yeah, now they're in Cape Town. So there's a wild story, as you said, full of detours and wild things we can talk about it, but also the lessons learned. And you had asked me before the show what's important for me to get across to your listeners, and it's that no matter what situation you're in, whatever problem you're going through, and it can be a relationship problem, it can be a business problem, it can be a problem with your children, it can be a health problem, it can be a money problem. No matter what, I want to assure you that something can be done about it. And
Well,
today we're,
I know that people are really going to be eager to hear
yeah.
an example of that. So take us
hmm
through that. Let's say that someone has an unanticipated health problem.
Yeah, absolutely. So the thing to know is that whatever you see as the problem, there's a law. The problem is always before.
Before
Whatever
what?
is your problem, before the current problem you have, whatever is the current problem that you have, the real problem is not that, it's before. And I'll give you an example. If you have a problem which is a car accident, you see a car accident, the problem is not the car accident. The problem is before. The guy was drinking.
Okay.
Okay. If you have a headache, the problem is not the headache. The problem is that you are dehydrated, maybe. So there's something before. If you today have a health problem, I know it sounds weird, but your problem is not that health problem. There's something hidden from you before that is still there that brought about this thing. And because you're not handling the root cause, you're just seeing the current health problem, that actual problem will grow. What
Mm.
I do is I specialize in taking any problem that you have, and when I say you, I'm referring to all the listeners, and finding what is the hidden source before that's underneath that brings about your current problem. So if you have a money problem, it's not a money problem. Your problem is actually not money. And everyone's like, no, 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 believe me, my problem is money. I need money. It's not. Because if that was your problem, if you knew all your problems, then you would know what to do about it. But if you still don't know what to do, it means there's something you are not seeing that's hidden from you. And that's what I'm looking to handle.
hmm Well, let's use another example here because you're on a mission to create 10,000 millionaires.
Yeah.
And that I want to dig a little bit deeper into that here in a minute. But
Yes.
let's take one person who needs money in order to become a millionaire. What
Yeah,
is the problem? What is a problem that that person could have that you're looking to solve for them in order for them to become one of the 10,000 in your
sure.
cadre?
Yes. So I'm going to say something that will sound weird to you at first. And again, when I say you, I don't mean you, Mary, but really anyone listening. You have exactly as much money as you think that you can have. You have exactly as much money as you think you can have. And everybody says, no, 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 believe me, I can have $10 million. No, you can't. You can't. That you right now have some kind of a limit that you don't know about and a limitation that's blocking you from having that. There's a term that's called your havingness, how much you can have.
Hmm.
And different people have different levels of havingness. And I'll give you some examples and then we'll come back to this money thing that I'm talking about. If you go and I don't know if it's ever happened to you that you've sat in a nice car, a really nice car, and you go, "Whoa, I don't even know if I can sit in this car." And someone says, "Drive it," and you go, well, I don't even, I can't drive this thing. No way, no, no. Like I'm too nervous to even drive it. That's because that person cannot have that car. It's right in front of them, but they can't actually have it comfortably. They can't get in the car and say, yeah, sure, I'll drive it like any car. They can't have it. Wow, it's scary. I can't face it. It's too much. Whoa, 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 whoa. And in that exact same way, there are different areas that you cannot have more than you have. And you think that's so not true. I can have more. If I go to the average person struggling with money and give them $1 million today, they will destroy it. They will lose it. They will blow it because you think, no, I'll be able to do it. No, you can't have that right now. That's why you're not able to produce it. But when we handle what's blocking you from being able to have that, you'll notice that all of a sudden, yes, maybe you can't have a million day one, but you go from comfortably making $5,000 a month to somehow it jumps to eight. And all of a sudden, from eight, it jumps to $12,000 a month. Somehow things happen, promotions, opportunities, things happen. The business grows. And until we don't handle those blocks, it's impossible. It's just impossible. I can give you techniques and I've seen people try and I've tried. You teach people the best golden knowledge and you teach them techniques and you give them opportunities and they don't do anything with it because there's a block there. So you must remove those blocks. When the blocks get removed, all of a sudden you have more and more money, and you'll see that you have managed with exactly enough money month to month. Every one of you listening, you make exactly how much money you need and not a cent more. You make it through the month, right on the edge, but you make it. You're here today listening to this with exactly how much you have, even if you have a minus, even if you have a debt. That's how much you consider you need. You consider that you need that debt. And you say, no, I
So
don't. I don't want it. But you do. And I'll show
I
you how.
I that makes a lot of sense. Makes a
Hmm.
lot of sense. And you just said you're going to show us how. So I'm eager to know that. And can you also give us a couple of different examples of the blocks that people encounter,
Yeah.
that are preventing them. I want $1 million, and you know, I
Yeah.
I actually would drive the heck out of that car.
Yeah, exactly. I like that. Exactly. Yes. Yeah.
And and I'd like $1 million as well. So
Right.
what kinds of things would keep me from being open to it or having the havingness?
Yeah. Two main things. The first thing is that there's a concept called fake realities. A fake reality is a piece of information that you're 100% sure is right, but when you use it, it doesn't bring you the expected results. A piece of information that you're sure is right. So because you're so sure it's right, you never double check it because that's right. And you have this piece of information that you're totally sure is right and you use it, but somehow in that field, you're not getting the results. So how do I know if somebody has a fake reality? one thing, not by how fancy they talk, not by what any. I check their results. Let me see your results. If you're not getting results, I know you have fake realities. If you have, you should be getting great results with your children. If you're not, you have fake realities with children. You should be getting wonderful results with your relationships. If you're not getting wonderful results with your relationships, you have fake realities on the subject of relationships. There's things that you know that are wrong, wrong, which is even worse than not knowing at all. Because if you don't know at all, you say, look, I don't know how to be a salesman. I don't
Mhm.
know. I don't know how to be a salesman. I need to learn. Better than I know how to be a salesman, but you don't realize that you know wrong. So every time you try to sell, you run into problems and you don't know how to fix it because you think. So people have fake realities on the topic of money. That's the first thing. And there's a
Okay.
lot of them. An example that's very almost a silly example, but it kind of gives you the idea. There was a fake reality that money is the root of all evil. It's not the root of all evil. In fact, money is a tool that you can use to help people. The purpose for money is helping more people. That's it. If your purpose is not to help more people with your money, you don't actually have the money, you'll blow it in some way, shape, or form. It won't actually be yours. But if you use the money to help more and more and more people, you'll notice that the money will flow to you. Another interesting principle, and takes me to point number two, every part of business, life, relationships, spirituality has principles. Principles are the basic laws on which the subject is built. And if you don't know the principles, you'll get fooled by the data that you see, the information. I'll give you a quick example. We'll come back to this. If you, everybody that's listening knows the principle of gravity. We know that in this world, there's something called gravity. Some people
Mhm.
say, yes, gravity is a force. It's not a force. But what's for sure is you know that you cannot float. So you know that gravity is gravity. It's gravity in Tampa, Florida. There's gravity in Cape Town, South Africa. There's gravity in Thailand. There's gravity everywhere. We know that. Now, imagine that you go and you watch a magic show and you see the magician, the data in front of you. The magician in front of you makes the lady float. Now, the lady's floating. Now, you watch that and you go, wow, amazing magic trick. I know it's a magic trick. It's really fascinating. I don't know how he did this trick, but I know that she's not really floating because I know the principle. I know gravity. So, against the principle that I know well, I can't be fooled. But imagine you didn't know about gravity and you saw that she was floating. You'd say, oh my God, this is a witch. This is a somehow this is person is floating. You'd be fooled. People are fooled by all kinds of scenes in their life and they believe them and they go with them and they act on them and they go down the totally wrong path. If they know the principles, they'll actually be able to guide towards a result. So my second point here is that money has certain principles. And once you learn them, first of all, you remove your fake reality. Second of all, you learn the principles of money. And it's a lot to learn. And once you learn it, money just starts to become a secondary thing, actually, not the main purpose.
Mhm. Well, tell
Yeah.
us why 10,000 millionaires? Why do
Yeah.
you want to
So,
create 10,000 millionaires?
yeah. So, first of all, I really want them to be ethical millionaires. To create 10,000 millionaires is easy. We can bend the rules and we can do some shady stuff and we can become the next, I don't know, Pablo Escobar and make lots of money. But that's not the point. We want the ethical millionaires. And ethical millionaires are people that actually understand the subject of ethics, which is a whole subject, and they thoroughly thrive in all parts of life. They do things correctly based on what's right to do. And the reason for 10,000 is because there's a certain ratio in this world that if you have one person the ripple effects that one person can make is much more than we give ourselves credit for. And when you have 10,000 doing it ethically, that's a sort of a magic number that I figured out, that based on the ripple effect that 10,000 people will create, it will bring sanity to the world, prosperity to the world, and improvements on a global scale. You need 10,000 people doing that, and the ripple effect is exponential, and it will tip the scales of craziness that the world seems to be going towards a golden age of prosperity on all parts of life. And so that's why the 10,000 mark. It's not just some number, it's based on some math.
Well, it sounds like good math.
Thank you. It is. It is. We want to do good. Yes. That's the idea for sure.
So your success story began with no from your
Mm-hmm.
father.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you tell us what kind of knowledge he chose to share with you when you were at your situation of being stranded with no money, no prospects?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
What was
Yeah.
what
So,
what was your response at first when he said no?
I was frustrated, right? My father and I are extremely close. So it's not like I was upset with him because I love him to death and we have a very close relationship. But I was like, what do you mean? Because he's a very successful man, very successful. And my whole family were very close. And you would think that if it's a successful guy, he can help out with some money. Like you
Sure.
got the money, right?
Plus, it's your father.
And it's my father, right? Now, has he supported me endlessly in my life? Absolutely. Am I eternally indebted to him? 100%. Does he still help me and support me in terms of business and knowledge and mentorship? Yes, I credit that to my success. It's why I find so much value in being a mentor for others, because I know what it did for me. So was I upset with him like he's a bad person? No, but I also in the moment was like, hey, it'd be nice to get some money. But it ended up being a blessing in disguise. And the general thing, you know, the term or the saying, people say, if you give a man a fish, he'll eat once. He'll have a meal for the day or whatever. But if you give a man a fishing rod, he'll have food for life. Something like that. If you teach a man to fish, he'll have food for life. My dad came and said, listen, I don't believe in that. And I was like, what do you mean? And he said, if I give you a fishing rod or teach you how to fish, then I lock you in to being a fisherman for the rest of your life. And that's all you'll ever know. And it's all you'll ever eat is fish. I'm locking you into just being a fisherman. So he said, what I want to do is I want to teach you how you can learn anything so that you can decide whatever you want to be, so that you can get results in any field. If you want to be a fisherman, be a fisherman. If you want to be a dentist, go be a dentist. If you want to be I don't know, a mechanic, go be a mechanic. Whatever you choose, you can decide this and then that, but I don't want to lock you in. And the principle that he taught me is that, Gal, you need to be the source over everything you learn. And at first, I didn't understand what he meant. And it's, by the way, that's something that we teach every single one of our students. And at the beginning, people don't get it because it's so different because nobody's saying that message. But our message is you must be source over what you learn. And what does that mean? It means I'm talking to you and I teach you something. If you just take what I say and blindly follow it because I said it, or because I have the right shirt on, or because I look good, or I look bad, or I look smart, or I look whatever, and you just follow me, then I'm the source of the information and you are just a follower that has to go by what I said. The difference is you must be source. So I give you information, you take it, you understand it, you check, is it true for you? If it's true for you, you make it yours. you say, I can see how it is in your own words, in your own views. With your own views, you create newly with it. You maybe teach someone with it, you apply it, you do something with it that's coming from you. And now you are the source of the information, and therefore you can control it or do what you want with it, grow it, expand on it, whatever. And then you're not just a follower, you become source over the knowledge. So he said, Gal, you must become source over everything you learn. And like that, it will be yours. And like that, you'll be able to expand.
That's fascinating.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it really is.
because we presuppose that we go to class, whatever class may be. Class may be a meeting at work. Class may be in an education environment. You know, there are all kinds of classes. And we go and we listen to the expert. The expert may be the boss. The expert may be the professor. The expert may be the doctor. And so what you're saying is that you take a person is responsible for taking the information that they receive and becoming the source of that information and the owner of that information in order to move forward in their own lives.
Absolutely. Because most experts, I hate to break it to you, are what I call fake experts. They're not actually experts.
You know the definition of an expert, Gal?
Yeah, tell me.
Definition of an expert is somebody who you pay to come from 50 miles away. They can
Yeah,
come from 10,000 miles away. They come from 50
exactly.
miles away. They're automatically an expert.
100%. That's so true. I always say it's not someone from out of town with a briefcase,
Yeah.
right? So you're right. Exactly. I've worked with many lawyers, don't know what they're doing. I've worked with architects, don't know what they're doing. I've worked with doctors, I'm sorry to tell you, that don't know what they're doing. Just because they're a doctor doesn't mean that they're an expert. I check the results, and the results tell the tale. Many, many, many doctors just pass the test. I'm sorry to break it to you. I'm sorry to say something controversial, but it's true. If you think about most of the listeners, you went through school, and how much do you remember from school? Almost nothing. You were sitting there for 18 years and thousands of hours, and how much do you remember? Almost nothing. What was your passing standard on the tests that you took? 60%, 70% you got? You understood half of it at best and didn't remember it the second you finished writing your test. So, do you think that it's any different for the doctor that took the test? So, yes, he might know a few more things that he kind of has memorized, but he doesn't know it as thoroughly as you think. A lot of times you hire a lawyer and you ask the lawyer for questions, and I've done this many times, and you would expect the lawyer to tell you, here's the answer. And they'll tell you, well, before I give you advice, I need to research, which means I don't know. I don't know. I have to
It
recheck.
also
I need
means
to,
that they need to make more money.
and that's true. They need to make more money. 100%. You're very right. You're very right. I always tell the lawyers I work with, I'm not paying you to research. I'm not, that's not, you need, I'm paying you so that you give me an answer like that. And if you can research on your own time, don't charge me because exactly your
Hmm.
point. I'm paying you because so that you give me the answer. If you come into my field and you hire me, I don't coach someone and say, let me also charge you while I research how to answer your problems. I give you the answer because I know what I'm doing. I can bring results. If you come into my field in the world of investment, I don't make you wait. I know what I'm doing. In the world of finance, I know what I'm doing. In the world of events, I know what I'm doing. I don't need to research. But many experts do. So you need to know that you shouldn't be impressed by the title. You need to look and check that the data makes sense to you. Give yourself a bit more credit because you can know, you can understand, and you just need to be willing to look at it and to confront it. Based on that, you can decide, is it true for me or is it not? And of course, if there's something you don't understand, don't say, it's not true for me. First, look it up in a dictionary, learn about it, make sure you understand it. Once you understand it, now you have the right to say it's true for me or not.
So tell us about you have created and exited 4 businesses in
Yeah.
different industries. What is the through line? So,
Hmm.
most people think, well, you're going to go into business, let's say technology, that's
Yeah.
the thing today, or AI is the great thing today. So you go into that business and you exit out of that business and you go into another business that is in the same industry, but you did not. What is your
Right.
through line through that?
Yeah. So just to clarify, I exited 4 businesses that was in the event space, but I'm involved in different industries. And I might be exiting soon another one that's in a different industry. But yes, I've been in different industries. The through line for me is, does it help? I want to make sure that it helps people, and I want to make sure that it's a field that I'm have some kind of a knowledge in. So at the beginning, it started with events, and it started because I was good at bringing people together. Ever since I was 16, 17 years old, people would call me on the weekend and say, Gal, what are we doing this weekend? And I would be the planner and call this person, and do you want to hang out and figure out the plans? So I was always the bringer together of people. And so with the events, that was a natural thing that happened, just on a huge scale. With the finance, that was a angle that I can help people with this. But my real love, the biggest purpose for me is what we do with the company Guaranteed Prosperity, which is our business training and personal development company. That's really what I love doing because that helps people on a bigger scale. I'm always looking at what can I do to help. So yes, events are helpful, but it's limited to one weekend. Yes, the finance business can help a lot, even more, because some people get money and they're managing to handle major problems in their life, and they are able to buy a car or purchase a new property because we do a lot in the property space. So it helps people, and that's more than just a weekend. But with what we do with Guaranteed Prosperity, this is something that spans over a very long time. This is something very, very long lasting because not only do I help you well into the future, but I handle different things that have been going on in your past that you've had a problem with for a long, 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 long time. And somehow imagine if those things can be handled and you can actually start afresh. Imagine that. That's the big help. So I'm looking, how can I help? How can I help?
Well, I think there are probably a lot of people out there that would like and do need your help. Do they get in touch with you?
Yes. So to get in touch with me, you can connect with me on any social media platform, first of all. You go to Gal A. Ezra, GALAEZRA, Gal A. Ezra, on all social media platforms. And I'm posting almost every day helpful content, behind the scenes stuff about my personal life, my family, my daughter, my everything. We have a lot of fun with it. And if you want to learn more about the business and what we do and how we help people, go to gprosperity.com. G stands for guaranteed. Everything I do is guaranteed. If you pay me $5,000 to help you with your sales, or $500 to help you with your sales, and I don't make you at least that much money and more and satisfy you completely, not only do I refund you plus 10%. So if it was $5,000, I'll refund you $5,500 back for wasting your time.
And how
And
many
nobody
times
gives.
have you done that?
It's been minuscule, almost cannot count it. Some people, most of the people that we refund them before we even get started with them because we can see this isn't a fit. They've paid, they
Hmm.
want our service, and we say thank you, but no. So really, we bring results. You can go to our site. We have 10,000 success stories. And we
Wow.
help in 3 main categories. We help with business, sales, marketing, how to start a business, how to build a business, how to make money ethically. We have a family and parent academy, which has been delivered to over 1 million people, which teaches you how to have great relationships in general, but also between parents, between children, between parents and children, a whole family academy. And the third way is that we have a whole body of knowledge around personal development, mindset, and spirituality. But not spirituality in the sense of, some kind of kumbaya or something. It's spirituality as in how do we bring you back? How do we get you to be effective? How do we get you to bring results and not to be squashed by life? That's what I mean when I say spirituality. Making you effective, bringing you back. And if you have depression or anxiety or worries or fears or upsets or doubts or any of that, then you're not there. Something is beating you up. I want to get you to overcome that. So that's what we do. And anybody can reach out to us, and we have all kinds of programs. I can get you some great free things to get started. If anybody reaches out to me, I'll show you. You tell me your situation, and each person has a different one. I'll give you the exact free resource that you can start. I don't need your money. You can do a program if you want or learn from us if you want, but I want to give you something that you can get for free, and just I want to help you. I want you to start and get a wow and see if what I'm saying is really wow. And that's what we do. We help people. As I said, that's the purpose.
Well, thank you so much, Gal Ezra, Gal A.
Absolutely.
Ezra on social
Yes.
media from
Yes.
Guaranteed Prosperity. Thanks so
Thank
much
you.
for joining us today on Experience Over Expectation. I'm Mary McCorvey, and please do buy the book Experience Over Expectation, Let Go of the Plan, and Live on Your Terms, anywhere you get your books. Thanks so much for listening and watching. Have a great day.
You've been listening to Mary McCorvey's Experience Over Expectations podcast. Be sure to subscribe today on YouTube and Substack, or listen wherever you find your podcasts. Thanks for tuning in.